2, the right fielder, Tommy Mathay. Batting fifth, number 20, Nick Haas, the catcher. Batting sixth, extra hitter, number 17, Logan Stickland. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 15, Braden Miller. At third base, number 42, Christopher Rizaldo. At ninth, the shortstop, number 4, Alan Ramos. And second base, number 1, Connor Kiefer. Pitching today, starting pitcher, number 38, Aiden Lipzak. Now the starting lineup for your Niagara Ironbacks. From Sudbury, Ontario, the shortstop, number 7, Devin Medor. From Fujisawa, Japan, the second baseman, number 1, Kakeru Tsukamoto. Batting third from Woodstock, the right fielder, number 25, Alex Key. Next from Bismarck, North Dakota, your catcher, number 15, Marcus Bunce. From Welland, first baseman, number 10, Andrew Bishop. Starting lineup, Brandon Moore back in the leadoff spot. 27, Chase Hubble from Welland. Left fielder from Whitby, number 30, Grayson Brake. From Coca, Ontario, the DH, number 20, Brock Granger. From St. Catharines, the extra hitter, number 19, Bryce Petrosian.
Hey, welcome back to George Taylor Field, here deep in the heart of the place where dreams come true, Merritt, Ontario. The Ironbacks just won the first game of doubleheader against Niagara Falls Americans. They got their first shutout of their entire existence as an organization, winning 8-0. Jack Kemp pitched an excellent 5 innings, allowed only 3 hits. He's relieved by Max Rutherford, PI, who completed the shutout with 2 clean innings, leaving the home crowd with a win. Free Beechwood Donuts, which is pretty big given it's the return of the Cream Skull here for a few days at Beechwood Donuts. Jesse, how you feeling about the Ironbacks win?
Feeling great, Darren. That was my first win I got to see in person. Yeah. I know it's overshadowed by the creamsicle donut. However, it is a big moment in my time here being a PA announcer for the Ironbacks. I can't wait to see what we have in store for the second game. I'll have to check it in at home because I will be leaving momentarily. But I'm glad I can at least join you for the first couple innings here.
Yeah.
As a special guest, we'll call me.
Yeah, it's our first look at, I think I'd refer to him as, for those of you who might remember, the polka dot door, where there was the one character that nobody could ever see, Pokeroo. This is Aiden Bray, who we weren't sure really existed, or whether that was just like, let's put this guy in who looks like a really good pitcher in
the
our
man,
stats.
The mystery there.
Yeah, we never saw him, but here he is.
It's kind of like the old Christmas commercials with the M&Ms there. Whoa, they really do exist. It's Santa Claus. He really does exist.
Exactly. He's actually from Eugene, Oregon. So dual citizenship, actually, with Britain and the United States. So he's an interesting dude. He's traveled a bit. He won a silver with Britain, lost to Netherlands in the gold medal game in the World Championships in China.
Wow.
So,
wow.
He's an interesting guy to talk to. And things are going to start off tough for him because you got Grant Moore, who was leading the league in batting average coming into today. And wasn't actually supposed to start game 1 before Derek Jesmondi got hurt. and he was pressed into action. Went 1 for 2, a single walk, stolen base, which he does an awful lot of.
That's the one thing you can say about him is that he's going to be stealing a base when he gets on.
That's right. If he's on first, he's probably going to be on second.
Very quickly, that's right. If it wasn't for that interesting play there in the 9th inning, he probably would have stole second before getting thrown out at second base.
I know the Americans have faced Bray before. Bray wanted that pitch, I'll tell you. That's a long look to start the day. I don't know.
It is. The strike zone hasn't changed from the first to second game, so.
There you go. He gets a pitch on the outside corner. I worried about that long of a look there on the second pitch of the game.
Definitely.
So, you know, umpires may take that not too kindly, as they say. These are really interesting motion. Wanted that one too. That's a second long look. Kind of tilt to the head. He's going to regroup. 3-1.
That's the real problem now too. That's going to be inside your head. What's a strike nowadays?
You know, I don't know if I would necessarily call those bad calls though. Briggs tracking that one. Nice catch. Getting past Grant Moore, that's got to feel good.
Absolutely. And making those plays in left field foul territory as well must feel pretty good. Last game we had a couple adventurous plays in left field there, foul balls.
Yeah, man, mostly, you know, the Americans struggled on defense. This is a surprise because we've seen this team before and they're usually pretty sharp on defense.
Right.
Core plays for the SUNY Niagara team, who are so excellent this season. He's from East Aurora, New York. There you go, painting the corner with that pitch. Missed waste one outside there. Core batting .232 coming into today, a couple doubles. He was much hotter last time we saw him, so he's kind of cooled off. Just missed in high and outside there, 2-2. Core's walked 11 times, struck out 11 times. Oh, curveball that he couldn't quite twist off, makes the count full. Nice play by Mador. Gets a second out. You worry a little bit when you see those slow ground balls.
Especially in this infield, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you almost got to grip your seat and hold on because you could be an adventure out there.
There's no such thing as a sure ground ball out on the infield. Literally, there is not.
Not at George Taylor Field.
There is not. Every ground ball is an adventure. Gavin Boyle comes to the plate. Boyle batting .245 coming in today with a couple home runs.
So he's got some pop in that bat.
Yeah. Hearing from James there, nice little curveball in the outside corner that both his home runs come in the last 5 days. So
sounded like an echo up here in the press box, I think.
Yeah, that's what I said. I heard that from James. Yeah, I'm giving full credit where it's due. Yeah. I will echo James when he says, you know, great information like that I don't know.
You mean Andrew?
Couple good ship lollipop curveballs there, taking the scenic route to home plate. 1-1. Oh. High and tight in on hands, fouled off. See if Ray. See what he goes with here. Hasn't really come in with a hard one yet. He can maybe do that or go back to the curveball. There's the curveball. It's going to fall in front of Hubble in center. Single Gavin Boyle, who got a little bit jammed on that, but worked it into the outfield grass for a single. Tommy Mathey up now. Mathey in game 1 was 0 for 4.
Had some adventure in the outfield as well. A couple defensive miscues there between his left and right fielders.
Yeah, there was no place in the playing field that was safe from foibles.
For at least a couple innings anyways. They quieted down a little bit after a little bit of some questionable plays.
Yeah, it was early in the game.
Yep.
That one big inning really killed them, and that was a lot of that was defensive miscues. Bray up 0-1. Boyle with the big slide in mid-on, taking a medium lead over there in first. As our PA guy regales the press box with major league scores.
Wow, yeah, he's giving us all the information today.
Yeah, all the information you need here in the press box. 1-1 count.
You should be giving us the stats throughout the season here.
There was a quick little fastball, changing things up there. He's got him set up for any number of different possibilities here. See if he doesn't go back to the curveball. It seems to be the pitch he likes to try to take guys out with. There it is. Right at Bishop. So that's a scoreless inning for Aiden Bray. We go to the bottom of the first, 0-0 here at George Taylor Field. Welcome back to George Taylor Field. It's the bottom of the first. The Ironbacks coming up, looking to perhaps win 2 today.
Get things started with Devin Medora out there. Again, the Ironbacks have had a great job getting players on base to start their innings. Let's see if that trend continues here.
Yeah, it's been a while since Devin Medora seen the leadoff spot for the lineup.
I think with Shin taking a seat for the second game of this doubleheader.
Yeah, that's
Keane moving down the lineup maybe to kind of even things out. Fedora's back, but again, he's also been hitting well.
Ooh, nice curveball from Aiden Klimzak to start things off here.
You didn't even mention the Aiden versus Aiden showdown.
Aiden versus Aiden. Nice pitch. Right back at Klimzak. He almost walks it over to first base. That's 1 out. 2 good pitches from Klimzak to start the game. And that brings Kakeru Tsukamoto to the plate.
Darren's enthralled because he gets to say that name multiple times.
I do, all by myself, I got to say.
No one to fight over. Who gets to say Kakeru Tsukamoto?
See, the Americans are hip to his style. The third baseman a step in on the infield grass.
Maybe they weren't paying attention to Moto's pregame warm-up routine.
Yeah, you were enthralled by that.
He was taking some aggressive hacks over there on the grass while sitting down, I might add.
Nice pitch there by Klimzak. I think America's got to be happy to see some strikes come in consistently from their pitchers.
Especially early, too, right?
Yeah, it's a long game for their fielders, too. Aside from the, cavalcade of interesting plays, that overhand curveball, boy, that's something.
Yeah, we haven't seen many
rainbow.
Good curveballs today for the Americans pitchers. And that one there,
that was a good one.
Hitting his spots early.
It's funny, he doesn't have that sharp break, but it's got that long looping rainbow kind of effect.
And that's got to be
down.
Decisive for a hitter to kind of make a choice on, right?
Yep. Klimzak up 1-2. Good curveball. Just fouled off by Tsukamoto, staying alive. Tried to finish him off with that same curveball.
Looks like Moto kind of took a desperate hack at that.
That was. Like that, if he would have hit that one, that ball was going about 4 feet 4 inches.
Sometimes that's all you need, though.
Yeah, that might work out for him, actually. Little grounder to third. Nice toss by the third baseman. Core took the first step the wrong way on that ground ball, but came back to him.
You know, it almost looked, too, it was going to take a late hop there. Kind of was kind of the way he was setting and planting himself, kind of maybe preparing for a late change in direction of that ball in the infield. But
and they do seem a little psyched by the infield thus far, and I don't blame them. Alex Kino stepped up, hit a triple last game off the Lancer family restaurant sign there in center field.
That was the answer in that game. That was pretty much all the Ironbacks needed.
The Lancer was indeed the answer. As the ads say, between innings for the uninitiated. For those of you who've never been down to the park here. And why haven't you?
It's a great question, to be honest. You get an opportunity to win the donuts. I mean, that's really what you should be coming down for.
Free donuts.
Great atmosphere, cold beers, hot dogs, good conversation.
Mr. Freeze?
Mr. Freeze, apparently, we found out, still unsure if they're actually available or not.
Slow in the dirt. Keen looking real solid these days. I think there's still a couple pitches he didn't quite get last game that...
Yeah, he had a couple strikeouts last game. There's definitely a few you think he'd want back. One with the...
And pitches within those at-bats that I think he could have done stuff with, and I think he'd be the first to tell you that. Just inside from Klimzak. 3-0. Keen's trying to get something started here in offense with 2 out. It is stinking hot here at George Taylor Field. Not an easy day to play, too, even if there's 7-inning games. Strike one there from Klimzak, dropping it on the bottom of strike zone. Good competitive pitch there at 3-0. Makes it 3-1. It's that curveball again. That's a walk for Alex Keene, who managed not to commit to that tough overhand curveball. Brings up Marcus Butts. Marcus Butts with a nice RBI double last game. He went 1 for 3 with a walk.
Yeah, it's a loud double too.
That was a
exactly
very loud
what you
double.
want to see him driving to the left field,
Yeah.
cashing in some runs.
He really likes that left field line. And you talk about sweet spots, and that's his sweet spot. Is right down the left field line.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Carter Shin's kind of just over shortstop there.
Yep.
Outfield grass between shortstop and left fielder.
No, being himself a shortstop himself, he probably knows exactly
he knows
the
the
area
territory.
kind of where to hit it to, right?
Strike one there. That was a tough one right at the bottom of the zone. Butts laid off of. It's strike one. Pretty aggressive lead there for Keene. Keene and Bishop, highly ambitious in their base stealing attempt ways these days.
You know, as long as it's not stealing third, then I'm kind of okay with it.
As long as it's not stealing third, which again it's not been a good refrain for Ironbacks. That is up in the air at home plate. Should be a piece of cake. It is. That ends the inning scoreless through one here at Grant Taylor Field. Welcome back to George Taylor Field. It's the second game of a doubleheader here between the Ironbacks and the visiting Niagara Falls Americans. The Ironbacks with the 8-0 win in game one. Surprising and enjoyable win against the second place Americans. Aiden Bray with a nice start in first inning. He gave up one hit, but no runs surrendered. Had the Americans off balance, and he faces Nick Past here to start things off, the catcher. And not a fun day to be catching. Bray really working with a vast array of off-speed pitches here. 1-0. Misses that low. 2-0. I think one of the challenges Bray's had at times was a walk. So 8 1/3, he's walked 7. He struck out 10 too, only giving up one run, but those walks are a little bit concerning. There you go. He's right back into the black. 2-1. Past batting .227 coming into today. There he gets that corner again. 2-2. That ball's hit high in the air. That should be an easy one for Chase Hubble in center. A long wait, but it eventually comes down to his glove. That's the first out for Aiden Bray. Logan Stickler comes to the plate out of Lawrenceville, Pennsylvania. Actually, also a pitcher. Pitched in high school at a 2.41 ERA. Struck out 38 in his senior year. Addition to batting .483, so he did it all in high school. So curveball coming in around neck high for ball one. Interesting matchup with Stickler here right on top of the plate. A little bit of an open stance. That ball's hit pretty hard into right field. That's going to find the gap, and it's going to roll to the fence. Hubble's going to fetch it, get it in. Stickler stops at second with a double. I found the vast expanse of the right center field grass. Brings Grayson Miller to the plate. Graydon Miller, excuse me. Graydon Miller out of Drury University. He's from Ozark, Missouri. So freshman, he batted .287. Recorded a .832 ops. The appeal to first base, but I say the batter did touch first, despite our PA man feeling very differently about it. So solid lead there for Stickler. There you go. Strike one from Bray, who really tries to mess with the hitter's timing. So a little bit of a quicker pitch there, quicker delivery. There you go. Quickly ahead of Miller 0-2. Bray reminds me a little bit of watching Jaden Corbin, and the fact it kind of works backwards, and it's really just trying to get the hitters off balance. And much with Corbin is it's the ability to find the stroke zone dictates so much of the success. There's curveball, just missed on the outside corner. Nice idea. Probably a little higher than he wanted it, but trying to get Miller to chase. Go a little change of pace there. This is a good pitch. Miller just a little ahead of that. It's actually a biology student at Drury University. All right. And not only does Graydon love baseball, you can also see him at the zoo, where his favorite animal is panda bears. We were talking earlier, who was the guy who liked panda bears? Graydon Miller was the guy. Every time a player tells you something that they like panda bears, we're going to talk about it a little bit, because that's riveting information. The world would be a better place if more people talked about panda bears, loving them, preserving them, that sort of thing. Oh, that was a good pitch. Just missed. Just missed. Froze Miller, and definitely, I think, caused a little doubt in the umpire. Seemed unsure what he's going to do there, and in the end, he decided to do nothing. Perhaps because it's the path of least resistance. 2-2. Time for a little fastball might do the job. That's what he does. Straight at Hubble, catches it. Runner tags up. Pretty good throw by Hubble. But Stickler's going to get to third. 2 out for Chris Gazaldo. When I was a kid, my mom would send me to the IGA, the local supermarket, to get like luncheon meat. And I would stand in front of that meat counter, and I would love to say those names like capicola, prosciutto, those sorts of things in my head. They were just such fun words to say. And I find the Niagara lineup has a lot of fun names like Gazzaldo. Ball 1 to Gazzaldo. Jesmondi, another good one. 1-0, runner on third, 2 out. Ball 2 to Gazzaldo. Gazzaldo, one of the leading hitters on the team, coming in today is batting .338. It's always a tough at bat. Makes the pitchers work. Gets the bat on the ball. Wasn't quite his old self though last game. He ended up being 0 for 2 with a couple of Ks and a walk. 3-0 here though from Bray. See if Bray can fight back here. There he goes, catches the corner with that. It's 3-1. Alan Ramos on deck, the shortstop. There you go. Swings through that. It's a full count. Again, had Gazzaldo's timing a little off. Full count. Logan Stickler leading towards home. Ball's hit up in the air. It has been lost by the catcher. Bray with a diving catch. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of drama there. As Butts lost the ball, Bishop didn't appear to get it, but Bray falling backwards makes the catch through 1.5. It's scoreless here at George Taylor Fields. Welcome back to George Taylor Field. It's scoreless going to the bottom of the second. The Ironbacks coming up. Andrew Bishop leading it off for the Ironbacks. Saw Richard Griffin have a jubilant conversation with the umpires, perhaps basking in the Game 1 win. Andrew Bishop trying to get things started against Aiden Klimzak, who looked really good there in the opening frame. Just walked one. Overhand curveball looked real good. There it is to start things off, just missing high. Brings that in way over the top. And unlike Jack Kemp's curveball. Doesn't have that late break, but it has a longer arc to it. Misses outside. And a really good job kind of disguising his fastball versus his curveball. It's hard to distinguish, so we'll see how the Ironbacks hitters adjust. Just misses on his first 3. Andrew Bishop showing some signs of life there with the bat last game. Drilled one into right field. Scored a run. There you go. 4-pitch walk to Bishop to lead things off. That'll bring up Welland's own Chase Hubble.
Your center fielder, number 27, Chase Hubble.
Just one of the more enjoyable aspects of doing all these games here is watching Chase Hubble play a steady center field. And he's livening it up with the bat lately. Hit a nice line drive single up the middle there in game 1. Squares around, pulls the bat back. I believe that was ball 1. Now Bishop has been adventurous on the bases. We saw him get thrown out at third base, which is quite a thing these days for the Ironbacks. There's a little bunt handled easily by Core, throws to first. Okay, so that is 1 out. They move the runner up to second, Bishop. I'm hearing that was Gazaldo from the Niagara Falls Americans announcers. I'm surprised to see the third baseman in on the infield grass. There's that curveball. It's a sweet curveball. And hard not to fall in love with that curveball if you're throwing it, let alone watching it. It's 0-1 on Briggs. Oh, got in on the hands there. Quickly behind 0-2. Briggs, who, when he's not going well, can really be pulling off towards the first baseline, has shown some sign of life. Last few games are really hanging in there with the pitches. Really holding on Bishop. The Americans were here last game, and they saw how aggressive the Ironbacks were trying to steal third base, even if it seemed inopportune. 1-2 on Briggs. Ramos paying a ton of attention to Bishop there. That's strike 3 on the inside corner. A little look back from Briggs. What it looked like it caught what it needed of the home plate black. That brings up Brock Granger, DHing.
Now batting the DH, number 20, Brock Granger.
Granger was real good last game. Double, a single, a walk, and a hit by pitch. Hit by pitch probably being his least favorite moment of the game. He's got an opportunity to score 1. Rip foul down the first baseline, and we've seen Granger take one off the fence. One of 2 Ironbacks with a home run. Gatens and Granger with the home runs so far this season. Ooh, a curveball that just a little high. It's 1-1. Merritt Norganis is back at it, trying to inspire the team. Rip foul down the first baseline. 1-2. Not a pitch Granger could do much with. Granger played the first game behind the plate, and today is not a day to wear the catcher's equipment for any length of time, let alone a whole game. There's that curveball fooled him. Falls down, fielding it, but easy throw to first by Klimczak. That's another scoreless inning for Klimczak. Through 2, it's scoreless here in Merritton.
This inning is brought to you.
Welcome back to George Taylor Field. It's the top of the third. It's scoreless. The Americans who came in here after losing their last 2 to Batavia, falling out of first place in the West Division, which is super tight as we alluded to before game 1. Really struggling to scratch up a run here. They've got Ramos, the shortstop, Alan Ramos, leading things off. Ramos batting .226 coming into today. Takes ball 1. Ramos seemed to really like those pitches up at the bottom of the zone. See how that matches Bray's offerings. That's hit into right field. Easy catch for Alice Keene there, right at him. That brings Connor Kiefer, the second baseman, to the plate. A little delay there as I tried to read my own writing, which is always a struggle. Kiefer batting .240 coming into today. A nice quick start there for Aiden Bray. Whew, wild. Way wild on that. Even Bray was slightly amused by how far away from home plate that was. Nods to himself, okay. Let's get our act together in the second pitch. Oh, it's a good pitch right down the middle. Kiefer really crowding the plate. He takes a second himself. A little quick pitch there. They ended up in the dirt. 2-1. Bray shaking off the catcher butts. They agree on a pitch. There's a little grounder towards short. Medor handles it. Throw to first. Easy play. 6-3. That's 2 outs. Pretty quick 2 outs there. That brings up Grant Moore, who's not been his usual self thus far today, which makes you wonder when he's going to let it loose. He came into today batting .440, 3 doubles, 4 triples, 27 stolen bases, which he's only added to since. Well, he's a beast. He's also walked 19 times, striking out only 11. He's got 1 double play, which I have to think was something like a line drive. Like, I don't imagine him grounding into a double play unless it was just a hot shot. We've got really interesting. Tsukamoto's in the outfield grass right now. That's a, I don't know. That's a strike. A little change of pace. I'm gonna like slow grounder to second base, and Tsukamoto's gonna have trouble with Grant Moore, the way he gets down the first baseline. So we'll see. It's an interesting positioning tactic. It's a little outside there from Bray, who tried to sneak a fastball by him. 2-1 is the count. Always an interesting battle when Grant Moore is up the plate. Oh. Little curveball wandered its way far off the plate. It's 3-1. And again, when Grant Moore gets to first base, Grant Moore gets to second base. It's kind of how it works. See if Bray can refine the strike zone. Absolutely not. That's a walk. Now, I will say this. Moore seemed fooled by Bray's delivery last time he was on. Oh, that was actually Gavin Boyle, excuse me. We'll see. Like, Gavin Boyle was the base runner on first base there in the first inning, and he was diving back to first base on every delivery home. We'll see if Moore gets a better read on Bray. It's a pretty aggressive lead. Got Evan Core at the plate. Bray looks him back. Pretty deliberate. Strike one, but no. A little bit low. 1-0. The umpire and Bray have been getting along so well since that first batter where there was a little bit of unhappiness between the two. Oh, a little quick throw over to first base. Showing Moore a little something, something. And on a hot day, why not make the guy work a little bit if he wants to steal second base? Long look backs from Bray. We'll see if this impacts his pitching. It's on the outside corner with a fastball. Nicely done. 1-1. 1-1. Moore again still has a pretty solid lead. There he goes. Picked him off, but he's still going to get the base. There you go. Stolen base. Yeah, that's a real base stealer. As soon as that ball he threw over to first, he was gone. And then Bishop was in a lot of trouble trying to throw past the runner to get him. So that's Grant Moore, ladies and gentlemen. It's what he does. That's got to be frustrating for Aiden Bray. You pick the guy off, but you do not get him out. So it's 1-1. Trying to get the batter now. Refocus. A little outside. And I'll tell you, base running, good base running, smart base running, aggressive base running can rattle the opposition. And we'll see how Bray handles that. Moore ain't out there to make you feel comfortable. Oh, nice little change of pace there from Bray. 2-2 is the count. Really threw off his timing there. See, it's a fastball, good changeup. We'll see what Bray goes with right here. He seemed to right it himself in terms of refining the zone. Ball's hit high in the air. Medora going backpedaling, easy play. Through 2.5. It's still scoreless. Ironbacks coming up. Welcome back to George Taylor Field. It's scoreless through 2.5. What's going on here in the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League? Suddenly stingy, crafty pitching, good defense. And the Americans are really scuffling to get a run here north of the border, which is unlike them in their past ventures this way. They've racked up a lot of runs, but today's tough. But I will say that Aiden Klimzak in the Battle of Aidens has actually been equal to Aiden Bray. I mean, very different pitching repertoires, but both have been excellent in their own way. Oh, Bryce Bedrosian put a charge into that one. It's 1-1 count here. It's one of the better swings for Bryce Bedrosian. See if he can build upon that. Oh, it's a little outside. You know, it's a funny thing for a pitcher. Even if a ball's hit hard and it's 100 miles foul, it still plays in your brain a little bit. It's 2-1 as a count. There's a nice rip by Bedrosian. Nice catch at first base. Nice play by Graydon Miller to take out Bryce Bedrosian, who was just ripping balls down the right field line. Here comes Caden Wilson. Caden Wilson, game 1, 0 for 2 with a walk, a run scored, a K. Got some action down there at third base. See how Wilson can make out here against Klimzak. That ball's low in the dirt. Feels like Klimzak's struggling a little more to find his curveball. That's such a field pitch, he can come and go. Ooh, fastball is popped up. There's a, that little play, if you're the Americans, can make you nervous, given those little get-togethers have ended painfully at times, and without the ball landing in an American fielder's glove. So looks like they're getting on the good foot on defense, though. There's 2 out. Devin Medora comes up, the shortstop, grounded back to the pitcher, his first at bat. Americans have to like what they're seeing here from Klimzak. Just on the outside corner low. Medora points as if to say, that's actually outside. It's a fairly dramatic little point with the bat there. That's low in the dirt. 1-1. Thus far, it's been all pitching and defense. There's only 2 hits today. Oh, that curveball gets popped up in the air. Ramos coming out, but here comes the left fielder who takes it. 3 up, 3 down, through 3. It's scoreless here at George Taylor Field. Welcome back to George Taylor Field. It's the top of the fourth. It's scoreless here in the second game of two in his doubleheader between the Ironbacks and the Niagara Falls Americans. Aiden Bray out here for the fourth inning of work. He hasn't worked too deep into games this year. He's only pitched 10 innings, but he's had some pretty quick innings here, relatively. He's the first guy out in the field, so he's back on the field this inning, so he's looking forward to getting back to it. He's got Boyle, Muthé, and Past coming up. Here, the heart of the order, seeing him for the second time. That ball's hit high in the air to center. Hubble's going to have a long wait for it to come down in his glove, but there it is. First pitch, 1 out. F8 for those of you scoring at home like Geddy Lee at a Toronto Blue Jays game. Tommy Muthé comes up to plate. He popped up to first base. Actually, popped up is an unfair characterization. That was a line drive over to Andrew Bishop. My apologies to the Muthé. He hit that one well. He deserves credit. It's frustrating enough to line out right at somebody. It's another thing entirely when it's then characterized later as just a pop-up. That seems unfair, unjust. And we're not here to be unfair or unjust. 0-1 is the count on Tommy Muthé. Hey, nice pitch. Make that 0-2. Muthé attends Panola College. Big scuba diver. Things you need to know as the count hits 0-2. Oh, that's strike three. Snuck that one past him. And you know, that's, I mean, what Aiden Bray does really well, and it's a delight to watch, is just really work guys over. Because you can see hitters with the pitches in and of themselves in a vacuum, the pitches might not fool you that much, but the mix, the moment, the delivery really makes those pitches so much more effective. It's the context. That ball's in on the hands. Hubble's coming over. Steady Chase Hubble with another steady Chase Hubble play through 3.5. It's scoreless here at George Taylor Field. All right, welcome back to Grant Taylor Field. It's the bottom of the fourth, a scoreless game, a pitcher's duel here at George Taylor Field. I apologize. Grant Taylor, I've fought off the urge to say Grant Taylor. I don't know why. I think it's like a basketball play. It's two basketball players' names combined, I think, Mal. So my apologies to George Taylor. This is, but it's been a fine game. The Aiden versus Aiden game has really been a pleasure to watch if you like good pitching and good defense. And it's a hot enough day where you can kind of appreciate the brisk pace of this game. Kakeru Tsukamoto leading things off here. Your favorite osteopath. Makes a couple. That's quite the drawing in the sand going on before that. Stepping into the box. We'll see if that artwork benefits him at all in the box. Grounded to third his last time. A slow ground ball. You can see him playing way in and a good ship lollipop curveball for strike one. So much fun to watch that. Very beatific curveball. 0-1. Good fastball, following up to curveball. Klimzak, solid, really coming at Tsukamoto. And that'll allow Gazaldo to move back onto the infield dirt. He was playing in on the infield grass. More writing on the dirt, apparently, by I think an 0-2 count. And Tsukamoto's like, I need to draw stuff in the sand. That's the only option here, really. Well, I don't know if that was a K he drew, but that's what happened. So that's one out. Here comes Alex Keane, who has been just a monster at the plate these days. Completely dialed in. I felt like at the triple was kind of the peak of his power. And then he missed a couple pitches in later at-bats in that game. Still been on it, though, so we'll see how he does here against a pitcher who's doing real well. It's strike one. Keane takes a second to regroup after that. There's a nice poke, but right at the second base. That's a second out, and Keane, that's even his outs are allowed these days. But that's quick 2 outs for Aiden Klimzak out of Carson Newman University. And it brings up Marcus Butts. Popped up to the first baseman there. His last at bat. Butts, as we said, he's got a sweet spot. It's down that left field line. Oh, Klimzak. A little bit chagrined by that call, perhaps, and I understand why. Looked pretty good curveball. Umpire thought it was a little low. 1-1. That's a rare non-competitive pitch from Klimzak. It's 2-0. See what Butts can do being ahead in the account here. 2-0 is a count on Butts. Oh, in on the hands. That's a jam shot. There's a conglomeration of Americans, but that's a pop out. 3 up, 3 down again. The Aiden versus Aiden battle is quite something. Scoreless through 4. Welcome back to George Taylor Field. It was all going so well until somebody played Nickelback. How many times has that phrase been bandied about? And, that might be a little harsh. Brad Alexander's on the mound here for the Ironbacks, who've 11 straight scoreless innings against the Niagara Falls Americans. We got Brad Alexander out on the mound, who's had a rough start to the season. 12 innings pitched. ERA is 15.75. He's given up 31 hits. It's been a rough go. Let's be honest. It's been a rough go. But we've seen, possibilities with Alexander. There's a good fastball there. There's a good curveball there. But, as Hamlet would say, the rub is really hasn't worked out so well thus far. He's facing we have a pinch hitter here in Carmen Panaro. I know this because I'm listening to the Niagara Falls American counterpart. James is awesome. It's 3-1 is the count. Alexander doesn't want to start this off with a walk, but he does. Panaro. So that's a leadoff runner for the Americans, who have not had one of those thus far today. There's Alexander's curveball. He can fall in love with that a little bit. Let's see if he mixes it up a little bit here. I think I've sometimes been a little hard on Alexander, so I'm going to try to be not so hard. There's another curveball, top of the zone, just a little bit high, 1-1. Miller's quite a hitter, so Miller came in today batting .361, 2 doubles, a triple. 1-1 count. Fouls that one off down the right field line, and he's at 1-2. Miller, again, our favorite panda-loving American from Ozark, Missouri. Tried to get him with the curveball there, but it ends up in the dirt. It's 2-2. We'll see where Alexander goes from here. Pretty modest lead there, first base for Panaro. Alexander checking on Panaro again. Grounded foul down to third base. Will Cordero just stood totally passively there. Richard Griffin would have been diving for that ball. That's right. Will Cordero carries himself like somebody who's done it before. 2-2 is the count again. Miller not making life easy on Alexander here. Oh, that curveball misses. It's a full count. This is a big moment for Alexander. When you've had the struggles Alexander has had, it can feel like he slipped back into the nightmare pretty easily. And he's on the verge of easily slipping back into the nightmare. Strikes him out, throw to second, tag is down, he's out, double play. What do you know, Joe? What do you know? And that's how quickly things can change in a baseball game. Everything looked bleak. I was ready to jump out of the press box, and then all of a sudden there's a K, throw down to second base. Nice throw by Marcus Spots. Nice tag by Kakeru Tsukamoto. Two's gone. Everything's sunshine and lollipops, baby. Ooh. That curveball. That was a shot put pitch. You should throw that from underneath the chin, really. That's a nice pitch. He recovers from that. 1-1. Oh, man. Yeah, you're not going to get many hitters who aren't named Damaso Garcia to swing at that pitch. There's your 80s Blue Jays reference to go along with my 80s Leafs reference of Mirko Fricher. Yeah, Mariano Duncan, there's a good one. Vladdy Guerrero Sr., but he'd hit it over the fence. Oh, goodness gracious. Another shot put curveball makes the count 3-1. Alexander. Fate is leaning in your direction. Don't make it ask twice. There you go, full count. I can count the amount of 3-up, 3-down innings Alexander's had without using any hands. Oh, off of his glove, that's a shame. Mador, nice play, there you go. Scoreless, good job by Alexander. It's 0-0 going to the bottom of the fifth. Welcome back to George Taylor Field. It's scoreless here in game 2 of 2. The Ironbacks shut out the Americans in game 1. This is without precedent. This kind of stingy pitching and defense for the Ironbacks, and they love to take advantage of this. I mean, what are the coming in today? If you would have said going into the 5th inning, they would have a chance to sweep 2 games for the Americans, I would say that's just not possible. Why are you saying untrue things to me? But here we are. And they've earned it. Bishop fouls it off. And that's the bad Andrew Bishop swing, where it almost feels like there's some internal part of him fighting against him cutting loose on his swing. We saw him there in game 1 really look loose and free and drill a shot into right field, but kind of reverts back to that quickly. And Aiden Klimczak hasn't allowed a hit. He's been terrific. And he's earned it. Bishop trying to put a dent in that pitching line. There's that curveball. Misses with it, makes it 2-1. Count in favor of Andrew Bishop, I suppose. It's a big theoretical debate we could have about how much is 2-1 count in favor of the hitter. Let's not, though. Rip towards second base. Handled by Kiefer. Kiefer throws to first base. Miller grabs it. That's 1 out. Americans' defense, which was shoddy, yeah, we could say shoddy in game 1, is really firmed up here.
The center fielder, number 27, Chase Hubble.
That brings to the plate, out of Welland, Ontario, your favorite steady center fielder, Chase Hubble, has had a nice game. Couple games out there in center field. That's ball 1. There hasn't been too many non-competitive pitches from Klimzak today. The last 2 innings, he's busted out a couple. There's that pitch, and that bails him out every time. That is a tough pitch on the hitters. Comes right from over top and just drastically cuts downwards out of his hand. Really been a pleasure watching Klimzak, Aiden Brave, and Alexander had a nice positive inning there last inning. Hubble Briggs on deck. Klimzak has really cut through the Ironbacks order here today. And for an offense that needed some pitching, he's given it to them. The Americans' offense has been stone cold here in Niagara. Today is just so unlike them. It feels out of character. Woo. Hubble went chasing a high fastball. Chased. Sorry about that. Grayson Briggs come to play. The little Florida-Georgia line. The man who introduced me to the phenomenon, the country bro stylings of Florida-Georgia line. Which I'm not sure how, it's a thing. Oh, just missed that one. Hits it really high down the right field line. The first baseman, that second baseman, Kiefer with a nice catch. Another 3-up, 3-down inning through 5. It's scoreless. Welcome back to George Taylor Field. It's scoreless going to the top of the 6th. This is a type of game we really haven't done this year. A pitcher's duel. Eli Thompson into the game for the Ironbacks. Thompson from Bismarck, North Dakota. Good crew of Bismarck, North Dakotans playing for these Ironbacks. Hard not to like him. Thompson's been one of our favorites. He attacks the zone. He had a rough outing there in Canada today. Came in with a 3-run lead, and then Jacob Haynes just ruined everything for everyone at the park. Hitting a home run well over the 385 sign in center field. As the Muck Dogs came back. There's a pitch in on the hands. That's going to be tough because Ramos gets down there, and he is safe. We've seen that act before. You simply do not have time to wait on an Alan Ramos ground ball. And wait, Mador did, and I get why. It's an easy thing for me to say here from the press box. But there you go. Leadoff runner on. Ramos has got some speed. Let's see if they look at with their number 9 hitter here, moving him over, or if they're going to try to steal a base. Thompson misses real wide, 1-0. Thompson came in there and candidate didn't look like his usual self. Struggled to find the zone. It looked a little better in warm-up this time. You could identify it in the warm-up on Canada Day that he just wasn't feeling loose. There you go. Gets the outside corner there. Marcus Butts may have helped him out with that one a little bit because that was a generous portion of the outside part of the plate. 1-1. Ramos with the oven mitt on there at first base. A modest lead. There he takes a couple extra steps. Ball hits home plate. Bounds over Butts. And just like that, Ramos on second. The Americans desperate to get a run here. And that little wild pitch may just be the medicine they need. Now they really want to get him to third. Oh, that fastball right in at the body almost. I think Kiefer might have actually bunted that in front of his waist. It's 2-2 count. If ever there was a good time for a strikeout for Eli Thompson, this would be one of those times. Grant Moore on deck, which is just not a place you want to be. Runner on third and Grant Moore at the plate. So if they can at least keep Ramos at second, that would be an achievement. Really not holding him on so much. Ball's hit high, foul, off the left field netting, or excuse me, into the parking lot. Bounding just past a few innocent parked cars, all breathing a sigh of relief. That was a long ways foul into the parking lot. Oh, Kiefer didn't make a move to get out of the way of that. There's a little rule that's never enforced, like you need to make an attempt to get out of the way of the pitch. But Thompson hits Kiefer. That's runners on first and second. Nobody out. This scoreless streak for the Ironbacks is living precariously right now. Wilson in at third base, which Moore did square around there last at bat. And he does it again. Pops it up in the air. Caught by Bishop. Whoa. I find that a fascinating choice. That is a fascinating choice. You got a guy who's batting .440 coming into today. Sacrifice bunting. That's a bit of a break for the Ironbacks. Evan Core coming to the plate with runners on first and second. And if you're Eli Thompson, you just feel a little bit better with an out under your belt. Runners on first and second. Evan Core at the plate. Ooh, just missing at the top of the zone there. From SUNY Niagara out of East Aurora, New York. There are those amongst us who may have felt that was a strike. 1-0 is the count. Ooh, foul down at third base spot. Will Cordero, you can't make that guy budge. He's calm, cool, and collected in the third base coach's box. Evan Core, a big fan of hip-hop from the 90s and the aughts. Freshman with Thunder Wolves, played 19 games, batted .357. Not bad. That's going to be Ramos may come around. No, they're going to hold him up. Mador handling it. They're in the middle of the infield. The bases are drunk. Core drills a liner. And Briggs coming up throwing to the cutoff man. Bases loaded, 1 out. Richard Griffin decides to come to the mound to have a chat with the whole crew this time. We've seen him have some limited edition chats where only those with VIP passes are allowed to hang out. This one, he's talking to everybody. A little wisdom to impart to everyone. Disappointing. Talking a lot to Devon Medora. A little last word for Caden Wilson. Marcus Butts puts the catcher's max back down and thinks, you know what? I got one last thing to say to Eli Thompson, and that was just a message of unconditional support. Bases loaded. Gavin Boyle from Gasport, New York, comes up to the plate. Batted .281. 860 ops in NCAA this year. Fouls that off. 8 home runs. Thompson quickly ahead. The infield is in. Tsukamoto now just taking a step off the grass onto the dirt. So they're just on the lip of the grass. Everybody, nobody being held. Ripped at Bishop. Bishop home gets him. Throw back to first. Oh, goodness gracious. That was, I think Tsukamoto was at first to complete the double play, but Bishop took the throw. I don't think he recognized that Tsukamoto was behind him. That is a really interesting play. The most important thing is Bishop's throw home, cut down Ramos. The bases are still loaded. There's 2 out. Tommy Mathey, 0 for 2 this game. 0 for 4 in the first game. He's trying to break a big 0 for 6. Not look terribly comfortable thus far. He's behind 0-1. Thompson looking to just a little high with that fastball. 1-1. This is quite the tightrope the Ironbacks are walking this inning. Ball's fouled down the left field line. Nobody's going to get to that. 1-2 is the count. Thompson 1 strike away from getting out of here without any damage. The Americans 1 little hit away from breaking the eternal zeros they've been posting all day. See who wins. 7-inning games, of course. This is the top of the 6th. Ripped right at Tsukamoto. They get out of it. It's scoreless going to the bottom of the 6th.
This inning is brought to you by
Welcome back to George Taylor Field. It is absolutely a pitching duel here, scoreless into the bottom of the 6th. Aiden Klimczak, who's been terrific for the Americans, he has yet to allow a hit. He's just been mowing down the Ironbacks. He gave up a couple walks there in the first and second, but since then, nobody's really laid a lick on him. Here comes Brock Granger, one of the more dangerous Ironbacks hitters. See if he can. Oh, he was, you know, he had that curveball timed right, just couldn't get enough of the bat on it. And that's no fun for Nick Past, who's going to take a second to walk that off. Again, catcher. It's a terrible position to play. Can't imagine why anybody plays it. But good for him. It's very selfless. Somebody has to do it, or the ball just goes to the backstop every time. So, just getting hit with a ball, that just hurts. And good for Past. He pulls himself back together. 0-1 count here. See what Granger gets after the good curveball starting him off. Another curveball. Ooh, Granger bounces on his toes there. Thinking not such a fan of that call, but it's 0-2. Klimczak, to his credits, right around the zone. You get those calls when you're around the zone a lot. There's that little fastball. He also follows up the double curveball with a sneaky, quick delivery fastball, 1-2, and it's a great setup. And you know, when you got both your big pitchers working the way it's working for them now, it's tough on the hitters. Tried a little harder curveball there, but missed. 2-2 count. Good for Granger for staying in there. Petrosian, Caden Wilson to follow in theory. Curveball missing outside that time. Asked a little too much of the umpire there. Full count. You know, I mean, Klimczak's have been so good. This is almost like an event. This is like a big event so far for the Ironbacks. Just getting to a full count. Merritt Organist is excited by this opportunity. That's a terrific curveball. That's a terrific curveball in a full count situation. Nice job by Aiden Klimczak. Yeah, you know, I was too lazy to count how many in a row that have been put down by the Ironbacks. It's 13. I just overheard our counterpart there for the Niagara Falls Americans broadcast say. He did the work of counting. I just parroting. Bryce Pedrosia to plate really had some good rips in his last at bat before hitting one right at the first baseman. Fouls that one hard, and he's very first baseline centric in his hits so far. Yeah. Again, not too many of those pitches from Aiden Klimczak. Today's been really competitive all game long, right around the zone. 1-1 count here on Bedrosian. Oh, he missed that one. It's going to get out of play. Oh, no. Chris Gazaldo. I thought that was going out of play, and I was dead wrong. I wasn't even actually that close to being out of play. So it's been a long 2 games. So forgive me and forgive Chris Gazaldo, who would probably love to have that play over again. But Bryce Bedrosian's still alive. Let's see if he can do anything with the extra life. That one's in the dirt. 2-2. Some longer at bats here against Klimczak, making him work a little bit harder. Still seeing Caden Wilson's on deck. Oh, he gets under that. That'll give Gazaldo a chance. No, Ramos with the catch there. Short, calling off Gazaldo. 2 outs. Clem's out looking for his 15th straight out. Caden Wilson at the plate. He popped up to short his last time. Trying to be a little fly in the ointment here. It started off as a battle of two Aidens. I mean, the Ironbacks has thrown out a couple more pitchers, but Klimzak's just kept on looking strong and composed. Really impressive outing from Aiden Klimzak. It's 1-0 on Caden Wilson. St. Catherine's boy. He hits that one off the plate, but foul. As a Nick Past, who's shaking off that foul ball from just moments ago. Throws it back to his pitcher. Klimzak stands behind the mound in full control of this game. Oh, that's a good curveball, but just a little under the zone. 2-1. Oh, that one's hit in the air. That's going to be tracked in right field by Mathey. 3 up, 3 down. That's 15 consecutive by Klimzak. The no-hitter is intact. It's scoreless going to the 7th. Thank you, Zach. Zach's doing the producing here today as we go into the 7th inning. It's scoreless. Americans versus the Ironbacks. It's been a fantastic game for all those who love good pitching and good defense. You're getting your wish here at George Taylor Field. Eli Thompson is going to face Nick Past, the catcher for the Niagara Falls Americans. Ooh, busting him inside there to start. 1-0. Those flags really blowing out to left field right now. Oh, fouls that one off the end of the bat. 1-1 is the count. Eli Thompson walked the tightrope there last inning and managed to escape the jaws of death there. And the base is loaded, but got out of it. Ouch! That's another hit batter. And, you know, it's been a painful day to be Nick Past, who's taken foul balls and hit by pitches. That's the 3rd hit by pitch for Nick Past today. Again, it's just it's been not a lot of fun being Nick Past's body out here today. But that's a leadoff runner on. Carmen Panera coming up to the plate. Panero, excuse me, who's batting .286 coming into today. Ball's a high fly ball. Hubble's racing back. Nice catch by Chase Hubble. And a really heads-up play there by Nick Past. That ball really traveled. We just mentioned about the wind is going to, aid and abet long fly balls, and that high fly ball took a bit of a ride to deep left. Really nice play by Chase Hubble. Stayed calm, stayed composed. Runner on second, only one out. Graydon Miller. Graydon Miller came in today batting .361. And you can always tell his quality. They try and appeal at first base, as if suggesting perhaps pass left early, but that's not the case according to the umpire, which is more than fair. I didn't catch it, so I have no idea. Ball's hit high in the air again, and camping under that, Chase Hubble. That's a second straight fly ball to center field, so 2 out. Passed on second. Chris Gazzaldo comes to the plate.
Third baseman, number 42, Christopher Gazzaldo.
Gazzaldo 0 for 2 today, 0 for 2 last game. He's only had 1 walk. And we talked about it in the first game. Gazzaldo has usually been a really tough out. A lot of fights at the plate. Doesn't look like he's fully dialed into his best self today, but many of the Americans do not seem to be fully dialed into their best selves today. That's a generous serving of the outside corner black from the umpire. It's 0-1. Thompson ahead in the count. It's moderately. I'm surprised how much Tsukamoto's playing towards second base, holding him on. I feel like maybe a little overly holding him on. It's 1-1. Ball in the dirt. Nice block by Butts there. That makes the count 1-1. Thompson trying to get out of this. Gazzaldo trying to score the first Americans run today. Oh, goodness. Gazzaldo just about took a lot of hit by pitches today. Thompson's going to take a second. Recompose. 2-1 count. I'm going to miss. Ball's hit a short off of Mador, and that's a problem.
And a run is coming around the score. Gazzaldo into second. The Americans strike first.
Man.
Took them a while, but they scored. In this 7th inning, they lead 1-0.
I think that's an error. Error on short. I don't know. Yeah, that would have been a tough play. That's a tough call. That was a tough ground ball. Would Mador have thrown him out is the question. It's being called a single and an error. That scores a run, and after 13 scoreless innings, the Americans are finally on the board here in the top of the 7th. Again, it's a 7-inning game here. Thompson trying to keep this a 1-run game as Gazzaldo moved up to second as the ball caromed off of Mador into left field, giving Gazzaldo the opportunity to move into scoring position. Oh, just about on the inside corner. 2 out. They were 1 out away from back-to-back shutout 7s. Americans looking for their second. That one's foul down the right field line. To me, I thought Mador had a decent chance of throwing the runner out at first base if he comes up with that clean. Tough ball to come up with. Clean, though. So I get the scoring of single and then an error that allowed the runner to score. 1-2 is the count. Ramos at the plate. Throws him some high heat, which isn't a bad idea because Ramos has seemed to struggle with the high heat today. Really likes the stuff down at the bottom of the zone. 2-2 is the count. Whoa, that one missed by a mile. Thompson really struggled with the off-speed stuff today. as he did last game, so kind of lost the touch on some of his stuff, and that makes you a little more vulnerable. Full count, 2 out, runner on second. Strikes him out. That ends it, but it's 1-0 Americans going into the bottom of the 7th. Welcome back to George Taylor Field. This is the bottom of the 7th. It's a 7-inning game, the second game of a doubleheader. The Ironbacks down 1-0. Aiden Klimczak for the Niagara Falls Americans is 6 innings through a no-hitter. He's been fantastic. He's got Devin Medor to start things off. Strike one. Gets ahead real darn quick. I think Klimczak gives up a hit. They've had somebody working in the pen. They look fully warmed. Oh, curveball over the head of Medor. 1-1 is the count. I think the first sign of something going awry will probably be the end for Klimczak. But what a game he's had. He's looked fantastic. That's ripped. That will end the no-hitter. Leadoff single from Medor. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a ball game.
The Ironbacks finally strike in this 7th. Devin Medor. Right side base number 1. Oh, sorry. My apologies. Number 5. Carter Shin.
Carter Shin comes in for Tsukamoto. So, pinch hitting Carter Shin, one of the better hitters for the Ironbacks. As we said, Mr. Automatic at the plate. This line drives, painting various parts of the outfield grass, and this is a big chance for the Ironbacks, whose offense hasn't had a sniff until right now. Medor with the lead, and we'll see if there's a keeping them honest there. This would be a really bad time for the Ironbacks' capacity for base running follies to rear its head. Oh, just missed that one off the end of the bat. Foul from Carter Shin. Carter Shin in game 1, 2 for 4. Had an RBI, run scored. Tying runs on first, nobody's out. Third baseman playing on the top of the grass there. Whoa, that was pretty close at first base with Medor really leaning. Well, Klimczak, competitive throws over the first base. We'll see if it distracts him at all from the hitters. It's the first time he's had to deal with this little distraction today. Oh, and that ball is fouling down the first base line. Miller makes the catch. That's a really big out. That's a big, big out. Shin brings the bat to his. A little disappointed. But Klimczak's been tough all day. 1 out. Speaking of tough all day, Alex Keene has been tough all day, all week, all month. Well, just been a few days into this month now. I think that out. Sounded good when I started it. 1 out, runner on first. Klimczak's been holding Medor tight at first. There's a rip in a center field, but right at the center fielder. Klimczak is 1 out away from the shutout, a one-hitter. Marcus Butts, all that stands between the Americans in a big 1-0 win. As they're chasing first place in the West Division. Butts 0 for 2. This is his third look at Klimczak. Man, if you know anything about Marcus Butts, that left field gap down the left field line might not be a great idea. He's painting that line. Oh, yeah, that's going to get the runner in scoring position. A big pass ball. That ball gets passed. Sorry, but it's just true. Medor on second, 2 out. Klimczak with a 1-hit shutout going on. Marcus Butts at the plate. Plenty of room out there in left field for Butts. That's a strike. That's a strike. 1-1 is the count. Butts never seems overwhelmed by the occasion. There's a guy you wanted to play. He's one of them. Medor's pretty solid lead. Americans not really holding him on all that seriously. Oh, he fouls that one back and out of play. 2 strikes. Butts down to his last strike. The Ironbacks down to the last strike. Klimczak on the verge of just a fantastic outing, and you know he's been full value for it. See if Butts can't spoil it here with 2 strikes. And looking outside. That ball's hit high in the air. That should end the game. And it does. 1-0 Americans. They split the doubleheader. What a game for Aiden Klimczak, a 1-hitter. Great baseball here at George Taylor Field. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you Wednesday.